Hey everyone, so I don't want to say this is cheating because there's no rule book, but I know I'm a little bit late with my December favorites and I've kind of not been coming out with a lot of videos, but I was away visiting with family and I was gone for 11 days, and prior to that I was feeling just a little bit of burnout. So I'm feeling refreshed after taking that time off, and I am a little bit sick, so you may notice my voice or you may not. I don't know, I can't tell. But anyways, getting on to it, I have quite a few favorites. How many do for December? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And most of them are variegated. All of them except for one are variegated. So I'm gonna just go ahead and hop right into it. And as always, I'm just gonna start with my smallest to my biggest. So with that, I think my smallest is probably this Hoya, and this is the only Hoya I have in my favorites. It is a Hoya Archipelago. So also I just watered all of my plants, well at least all of these ones, so you might see water dripping. It's Hoya Archipelago or Archipelago Variegated. I think it might be like Albomarginata or something fancy. I'll put the name of it down, but I got this plant as cutting with 3 leaves, and it's just now popping out a new leaf. So it started popping this leaf out in December, and it's popping out another one, and you can see this newest leaf is green. So it's not red, but this one is red. And when I left, it was green, and when I came back, now it's red. So I'm guessing this is sun stress. I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. And I can't really see the margin of this, white margin that's on the other ones, but I have a feeling it'll pop up. I've seen that with other of my Hoya where they don't look variegated, and then as they harden off, I can start to see it better. But I just love it. Almost looks dusty. It kind of looks like a dusty, narrow, what is it called? Carnosa Queen, Hoya Carnosa Queen almost. I don't know, I just think it's really pretty. And I'm just so obsessed with this new leaf. I don't want to touch it too much because I don't want it to break off, but actually it looks like there's 2 leaves coming in. So yay, that's awesome. But yeah, so I just was so surprised, and I didn't know that the new leaves could become red. So I was very shocked and happy to find that. So yeah, number 1 on my list is the Hoya Archipelago Variegated. All right, the next smallest I have is probably my Monstera Lechleriana. So I got this one as a cutting too. This was the leaf that I had as a cutting, and it just sprouted out this new leaf. So this is all my favorites because it's growing, it's doing happy, and it's giving me a new leaf. And this new leaf, the variegation on it is so pretty. It's a very good marbled half and half variegation. So I'm very excited. It looks like it's doing well. You can see like a good some happy roots in there. So I'm just happy that I'm doing well. It's a sign that I'm doing something right. But yes, I'm very excited. I'm sure this is not going to be the last time it's in my favorites. But yeah, stay tuned. But second on my list is my Monstera Lechleriana Variegated. So this is the third one. This is a Philodendron princess, and look at that leaf. I mean, this is a cutting I took. I think every leaf on this plant is gorgeous. I think this is so pretty. This is the first leaf of the cutting, and this is a cutting of a plant I got. So here in Texas, there's a store called HEB, and they were selling a bunch of pink princesses for like $20 or $25, and they're pretty big and mature. Yeah, it was one, and it wasn't super variegated. So I just took cuttings, and I was like, hopefully the cuttings will push off more variegation. And this leaf in particular was probably one of the more variegated ones on the plant, but since then, this was the first leaf it pushed out, and it's such a cute little baby. And I was so happy because you can see there's a good amount of pink, but still a good amount of green. And then it pushed out this one, and the pink's so pretty. It's such a pretty pink. And it's very dark. The green is very dark. Then this one, and then it's pushed out this one. I might be going out of order what was pushed out, but holy moly, look at this one. This one's so pretty too. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I have this plant. And then lastly, this is the most recent one. I was shocked to see this. Look at that leaf. I am kind of concerned because there's a lot of pink on there and I don't want it to burn off. But oh, I just love how pink the pink is stained. I mean, this is the first leaf and it looks like it's going downhill. But even this first pink leaf, the pink still looks so good. I've seen a lot of pink princesses where the pink starts to fade and it doesn't look as good, but the pink on this one just looks, I probably sound like a broken record, but I just think it looks so pretty. And probably part of the reason why it looks so pretty is because the green is so dark too. But yeah, let's go back to my favorite leaf again. No? I don't know. It's so pretty. I just love it. So this is a Florida Beauty. So it's a variegated Florida green. Excuse me. And I bought this as a 3-leaf cutting for a really good price. I can't remember how much I paid, but I think it was like $70 for 3 leaves or something, which seemed, I was like, something's not right here, but I went for it and it gave me a new leaf. Let's see. So it had this leaf, which is my favorite. It's so pretty. This leaf, and then it also had this leaf, which is gorgeous as well. It's pushed out this leaf, and when it first came out, I was a little bit, not scared, but cautious because it was all green, and then now the variegation is kind of slowly, showing, and I'm not sure if this is variegation or just a sign that, I don't know, maybe the pH balance is off or something weird, but we'll see. And then additionally, it's giving me another new leaf, so this is a happy guy. And the roots look good too. So actually, I think I said this was a cutting, but I think it did have some roots. It was like, it had roots developed on it already. So no leaf had emerged from it, but yeah, it was a mid cut. And I think actually it looks like it was a top cut. I don't know, but look, do you see that? Like, there's like a stripe on the stem right here. I feel like it's hard to see. There, you can kind of see it there. I feel like I never really see much striping on Florida Beauties on the stem, but yeah. I do see it on that new one, at least. On the new growth, I see it. Alrighty, so this plant is so freaking gorgeous. I can't believe I have it. I've probably said that about a lot of these by now, but it is, and it looks a little sad right now because I think it needs a different pot. It needs to be potted up, put on a pole. I want to put on a pole, and like I said, I was gone for 11 days, so it wasn't getting watered. So it probably needed water sooner than when I gave it, but it's still kicking it. And I got this at a really good price as well. I was shocked. I think on Equigenera they're like $400, and I'm sure you get like a big, more mature size maybe, but I got this. I'll try to show a picture of what it looked like when I got it, but I got it for significantly less. And there's 2 plants growing in here, so let me give you a closer look. So gosh, and the variegation's so pretty. So let me see if I can show you. the second plant. I can't really, okay, so I think this is another plant right here that's coming off of it, and I think, are there 3 plants in here? I don't know, it's hard to tell. You know, maybe it just grows, you know how burl marks, sorry, I think it's burl marks, and maybe it just grows like that does. But anyways, the variegation's so stunning. Look at this leaf. Wow. So this is the newest leaf it's given me. And this is like a Polaroid variegation, kind of similar to the Florida Beauty. It comes out and it doesn't look like it has any variegation, and then the variegation kind of starts to pop up, and this one is still hardening off. So you can see the yellow isn't as striking. Like, look how striking that yellow is versus this one. But yeah, oh, and this leaf is so pretty. I don't know, it's so gorgeous. I want to get it on a pole. It's thriving for me. It's in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. I know if I put it on a pole, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, but I think it'll do okay outside of it. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But yeah, variegated domesticatum. Okay, just 2 more plants, and I think I'm going to show this one. So this is an Alocasia silver dragon, and I got this at Home Depot, and I noticed, let me show you the leaf I noticed. This leaf right here. If you can see, there's variegation on it, but it's so like very subtle. And if I go like this, you can kind of see, like with the light, you can maybe see it a little better. But it's very, you can't really see it very well, and you can kind of see it on, some of the other leaves, but like, here's a little splotch. I don't think that really even counts, but yeah, I just got it and I was like, well, we'll see what happens. And then this is the new leaf coming out. So, it's variegated. I hope you can tell. Let's see. Yeah, it's variegated down here. And like this whole section right here is variegated. Let me try to turn this light away for a second. But I don't want to ruin the leaf, but I am just hoping that it's not as subtle as this one. I'm hoping that it'll pop more and will be more noticeable, but we'll see what happens. I'm just excited that it popped out another super variegated leaf, because you never know when you see one leaf that looks variegated, you never know if the next leaf is going to be, if it's going to pass it on or not. But either way, I think even just the very subtle variegation's pretty too. Okay, last plant, and I've shown this plant before, so y'all are probably sick of seeing and hearing about it, but it's my Alocasia, I guess it has Alocasia vibes. It's an Anthurium Gigi. So, well, it pushed out a new leaf. I don't think I've shown this one yet, but it's very pretty and it's so dark. But the reason why this is in my favorites is because it's the first Anthurium to give me a flower, and there's pollen on it right now, so I'm trying to be very gentle, but I also don't know if the pollen is good anymore. When I left before my vacation, the flower was there and it was wet. It was like that sticky wet, but I didn't have any pollen to put on it. And now that I've gotten back, it looks like some pollen has developed on it. So I'm gonna just harvest it and hope it works. And then if this guy gives me another flower, I'll pollinate it. Or if one of my other Anthurium do, I'll pollinate it. But so cool. This is the first flower it's given me, so it might not be the pollen. I don't know. It might not work, especially because it's old pollen, I guess. But fingers crossed. I want to watch some more videos. I've seen videos of people taking pollen from their Anthurium, and I think it's pretty simple. You just brush it off and put it in a container and then freeze it. But I just want to rewatch those videos to really make sure I'm doing it right. I would like to just be able to cut this and then freeze this whole, like just freeze this part, but I want to double check that I can do that. So yeah, Anthurium Gigi for the second, maybe even third time on my monthly favorites. So he's happy. He probably needs to be repotted, honestly. He's got a small pot for how big he is and all the roots. That's all for my December favorites. I am honestly surprised about with the growth I've had and how well some of these plants are doing. So I think it's the IKEA greenhouse cabinet that's helping. And the fact that I'm in Houston and for the most part it's pretty humid and the weather doesn't get too cold. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.